What's up? This is your Captain Icetian 123 here with another Icetian Reads Bleach fanfiction. The Mice Will Play Part 19. Now, after this, there will be two left. So we are getting close. We are getting very, very close, and I swear I am gonna try and not be overly emotional when I do read the ending, but after I do read that, I'll explain how my girlfriend felt as if Kubo had ruined her ending with the way that Kubo ended Bleach. But yeah, we'll get to that in another 2 weeks. But the last video I did, there was the actual spring was actually mentioned, and that's why in the thumbnail I put a picture of that spring on the thumbnail. I put Renji right next to it, cause that's pretty much what he's gonna have to do. He's gonna have to whip down with Siani and get into that spring. That's essentially what he's got to do, pretty much. And I might use that same thumbnail for this actual video, because I honestly really don't know what else I can actually do, because I couldn't begin to even think about how to draw Siani's character. You know, I can't. I had no artistic talent. But anyway, let's get into this chapter. Shit. Okay, not unexpected. Tia bolted to his feet. Absolutely not. He bellowed. He rambled on about rules and traditions, so many reasons he felt Renji should never be allowed. I thought for sure, with what had only just happened, someone would come running in, but that thankfully never happened. And eventually he quieted, paced the room a few times, then sat down again, but much harder this time. I'm not swaying you from this, am I? I can forbid you, but you won't. It angers you and makes you feel helpless and vulnerable to the point of madness. Don't look like that. A body faced far worse, waxing for weeks as it took me piece by piece, unable to do anything to stop it. until it was almost too late. What do you think I meant when I mentioned the Soul King could but wouldn't? He sighed. I understand that, but why have him accompany you? He knows nothing of the to us there. It's dangerous enough for one of us. They are unpredictable. I honestly do not know. Just know he must. Since the encounter with them, I have felt that he must go. Him and no other. In the end, any of us from any realm, dimension, whatever reward you wish to choose, were all reapers. Showing the unknown who lose. Well, I think I should say shutting the unknown who lose their way into them and protecting them. Well, we're all the same. It's what we do. It's what we are. We'll be in no danger. He'll be in no more danger facing her than I. Let's go now while the Kamhile is chaotic. Without this event and focus upon repairs to Shida the Kame. I know you don't want to. I can see in your eyes that you want to refuse, and that is precisely why you must not. Trust not just my words, but trust in me. This is not a mistake. He moved to stand in front of me and gripped my shoulders tight. 3 days. I'll give you 3 days, and then I'll come after you. Who I will arrive as will be the choice of the Kamhile, not mine. I pulled away, exasperated. You know she doesn't walk that way. I cannot. 3 days. Tio stated firmly. Then turn on his heels. Don't neglect that he might hear your call as well, or worse instead. He paused at the door and left. I slammed my fist on the table. Damn it, Tio. Such unyielding obstinance. Poor Wenji. He'd had to stand there silently, having no clue what I'd just pulled him into. Unfortunately, there was no time, and I would have to explain what I could on the way. But what do you mean? Who I arrive as? Benji asked. He meant if he arrived as himself, my friend and our ally, or if he arrived as a finding agent of the Spiel. We need to go. There is one thing, and you are going to hate it. He looked at me, saying with his eyes there wasn't much else I could surprise him with. You have to leave Zabi Yamamoto here. He blinked several times and kept seeming as though he was going to say something. Without argument, he slid Zabi from his obi and handed it to me. I was honestly awestruck. He hadn't argued, and he trusted me enough to place his Zanpakuto into my keeping. I almost hugged him. No, Siani, don't let those feelings weigh on you now. I took Hane Yonak. Higadi in hand as well. Put them both across the basket with my shiaksho and slid them all back under my bed. That easy? That easy? He gave an uneasy smile. No, I already know you're not giving me a choice. Plus, I am as much an outsider here as you are in any city. Do I want to argue? Sure. He just said we'd be facing danger, and you're asking me to go unarmed. But do I trust you have reasons? Of course. And I assume you're going to explain. I nodded. Yeah, but we need to go now. We'll talk on the way. Getting out of my quarters was easy. The kame was occupied. Sneaking through the grounds of Chidakame unnoticed was very difficult. Fortunately, I knew each and every inch of the place and was aware of where the blind spots were. Dashing through the Tiasek wing was easier, but I still had to be cautious. Once out in the open, headed toward the fields and pen, I began to explain. I started with the tourist dead in general, who and what they were to us. There really was no separating the tale of Baron and the well of Segasus. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm very sorry. So I had to tell it to them all together. The well of Segasus. I think that's right. I don't know. Normal commonly as Kunla's well was a well of knowledge and poetic inspiration. 9 sacred hazel trees of wisdom surrounded the well, blooming and fruiting all within moments of another. Partaking of the hazelnuts that fell into the well, sipping the water after the hazelnuts fell in, or eating the salmon that swam about the well, who then ate the hazelnuts, was said to impact the individual, said knowledge and inspiration. I told him I could not speak to the truth of this. While the trees did indeed grow, flower and fruit about the well, I nor no one I knew had ever done so. The other Teal spoke of was her husband, Nixton, only Nixton himself and his 3-cup bells were allowed to even approach the well, much less take from it. Baron found this far too restrictive, challenged the power of the well, and in a ceremony she was able to call forth the water, but it sucked and spilled out into an enormous flood. I was said to have created the river Boyne itself. when Bowen died in a catastrophic flooding that created the river Boyne. She and a manner of speaking became the meticulous guardian of the spiel. She was forever bound to the world she sought to master. That took her life. Stories were that she could be brought forth and spoken to. It was my hope once I explained my plight, she could at least impart the knowledge I required to exercise the hollow, and a Neil dreaming wish that she would assist in any endeavor upon being made aware of the danger posed not just to the spiel, but also the well. And when the sun sets dim in eve and the purple fills the air, I think the sacred hazel tree is dropping berries there from starry fruitage, where the lark will colors will overflows. For surely immortal waters run through every wind that blows. What was that? Wengi asked. I smiled as a poem from the human world. The Nuts of Nogs by a man named George Russell. So I replied as we kept walking. Our library is rather extensive. I watched him out of the corner of my eye a little. He seemed very deep in thought. I couldn't blame him. Once again, I dropped a huge amount of information upon him. She mused. 9 trees, huh? Like your 9 kame. I stopped in my tracks so suddenly I almost stumbled. I looked at him in the eyes, knowing I was displaying shock. The word did not come up in casual conversation. The reality he just stated had never occurred to me, and I told him so. I found the idea fascinating and probable. Ikikame has a different purpose. I'll have to remember to ask Ipara at some point. And right there, I'm gonna stop for a second. So basically, you know, if you're watching this, you're obviously a Bleach fan, and you like the idea of this fan fiction, this Bleach fan fiction that was of course written. Now we know that in the stereotype there are 13 captains. There are the Gote 13. There are 13 squads, there are 13 captains, and so on and so forth. But in the spiel, there are 9. 9. That's all it takes. Which I guess could, I would say that I'm kind of sorry to say this, but the spiel is definitely better equipped than the Gote is. Just saying. Because they are trained. They are more trained. Definitely a lot more powerful. And they are very proactive with the people that are in their protection. But anyway, back to chapter. We continued walking as the well was a far distance from the spear in the woods to the northeast. He didn't speak again until we almost reached the tiny clearing. We're almost there. Now, whatever happens, do not, I stated, and turned to look at him. I mean this, Renzi. No clips, no smart-ass commentary. Do not say anything unless she speaks to you first. He blinked at me with an expression that was going to say he was an innocent little fly. But the little... I'm sorry, but when he's saying that he's an innocent little flower is funny. But the glimmer in his eyes said otherwise. I understand, so he replied, and so suddenly hard, and his expression grew very serious. No, honestly, yeah, I do. I do. The fucking hollow told me before I was out of my depth. I admit it. Hesitantly took my hands in his. He cooked a little before continuing. You made me promise, and whatever comes of it, I will keep it. I will not give up. I will see this done. I said it before, and I'll say it now once more, so you can hear and see the truth of it. I will do what needs to be done, even if it means doing that one thing that'll haunt me, and I will regret the rest of my days. I drew myself to him and wrapped my arms around him. I bit my tongue hard enough to draw blood to keep myself from crying. Of course he wouldn't say that he would kill me. How could he? I'd have broken if he had. Love struck jackass. I thought to myself, but he was was unsure which of the two of us I meant. I sighed. That seemed the best time. I slowly moved my hand upon his back to the nape of his neck, then close to his ear, and proceeded to snatch a few hairs from his head. He quickly pushed me away. Ow, what the hell? He demanded. We'll need these. I answered. Here, I said, tilting my head toward him. Show Tom. He did so much more slowly and painfully than was necessary. Jackass. That's not actually really written, but I was thinking he was a jackass for doing that. Took the end of our hair and pinched them between my thumb and forefinger. I handed the other end to Renji and indicated he should do the same. I had him remain still as I twisted our hair together, making a rudimentary thread. took the thread and made a very crude tricky with it. He watched me the whole time, curious and confused. Payment of sorts, I told him, so she knows we are serious. A few dozen more steps, and we were there. A stone-walled well about 3 feet deep, about 3 feet high. The wood frame that supported the window and clink as well as the thatched roof looked so ancient and splintered that they might fall apart at any moment. I knew better. This? He asked. I was expecting more grand, less old. I glowed at him. What did I just finish telling you about Smart's comments? I insisted. For that, you can bring the bucket up. He looked at me quizzically. I knew that he had to be thinking I'd asked him to do something immensely easy as a punishment for his remark. Hopefully this would get him to understand this wasn't a well like any he had seen nor heard of. I stood with my hands across my chest, waiting. He stepped to the crank, took it in hand, and nothing happened. He strained a few times, trying to get the simple machine to move, and it wouldn't. It continued for some time. He kept straining and grunting and fighting with it, but it would not budge. He altered his grip one last time, and right in the middle of another attempt, there was a gargantuan wave of Hanam that rushed up out of the well that surrounded him and knocked him several feet back. Before he got up, I approached the well silently and took the crank in hand. Easily, the rope began to coil out the log, and soon the bucket was within reach. I drew it to me, dropped the tricutra in, the carefully sent it, then carefully sent it back down again. By then, Wenji was at my side once more. Right as he was about to speak, I gently placed a finger upon his lips. Hush, just wait and watch. Several minutes passed, and just when I thought Wenji would lose his patience, the ground shook. He jumped back, not knowing what to expect, and I sighed in relief. We'd at least been allowed the passage to the grotto, just on the other side of the stone wall from where I stood. Stone steps curved downward into the ground. I stepped to the edge and without even looking toward him, held out my hand to him. I felt his fingers intertwined with my own. We began the descent. He'd gone a few dozen or more steps when there was another slight tremor, and I knew it was the opening sealing itself once more. The only way we'd be getting out was if we were allowed. The illusion of powered stones gave way to a solid wall of stone to our right, and there was a fuzzy glow toward the bottom. Several more steps, and the glow below us grew brighter. 2 more twists, and we reached the ground. And ground it was. Rick's damp, petty scent almost made me shiver. Small patch of dark gave way to marshy grasses filled with flowers. Mistman, Meon sock, red shank, winter telescope, Lulin, Spleenward, autumn hawkbit. I could have spent ages identifying them all. A representation of the whole of Ireland and of each season. A moss-covered stone path appeared as we approached. Sighed in relief once more. We could continue on to the well. Along the path, we passed a couple of what I knew to be perpetually young willow trees. This is just like where I found you, Wengi stated quietly. This is why you use it as the refuge in your inner world, isn't it? I nodded. It was as close to replica as I could remember. It was hazy, like a dream at the time, and but now being here, the memory of this place is totally clear. You didn't tell me you'd been here before. My hand reflexively tightened on his. It was a very long time ago. I was still a child. The experience was I twirled off as the hazelnuts appeared then. Tall, strong, powerful, and absolutely pregnant with nuts. A few more steps. We stood at the well itself. Well was actually a misnomer, as it was really a log open pool, and I constantly seeped over, creating the flower marsh we'd passed through. I released his hand and began swerving. I could sense Wingsy's unease and looked at him over my shoulder. You too. I didn't have you accompany me just for entertainment. I saw question from in his expression, but instead of speaking, that we simply complied. Once we were both naked, I took his hand in mine again. Jump! I ended up basically pulling him along with me. The water overtook us as I lost my grip on his hand. I tried, knowing it was useless gesture, to find his hand again. That's when the voices started. So many, too many. Each one in varying tones, speeds and languages, spilling forth all the logs of the of the whole of existence. I found myself trying to make for the surface just to end the mental assault, but that too was useless, as an unforeseen force dragged me further down, right as my body was responding to the illusion of the beginnings of drowning. Very quietly I heard one voice I had been hoping for rise above the others. It seemed as though I was wrapped in her embrace, and I found myself relaxing. Unfortunately, that's when Tio's warning came to fruition. I cowered from the sensation of anger and betrayal toward what held me. Rengi, I tried to move, but I found I could not. That's when once again I felt most hard pain in extent, as if my skull was being cracked and pulled apart, like one of the nuts so far above me. Everything I'd done and seen since last being here seeped out of me and dispersed into the world. Sheer moments later, I was being forced back to the surface. I now knew what to do. It would clutch me, probably destroy him this time, for whatever reason, when he had been the catalyst the whole time. I would have to provoke the Hollow by exiting Rengi. Here in the spiel, there was only one exceptional way to do that. I resurfaced right where we'd stood, forced the wall out of my hair and blinked it out of my eyes. Rengi lay on the path, dry and reclothed in his shiaksho. There were bruises on his face and arms, and I had to assume elsewhere on his body. They were fading quickly. Foolish man, I'd warned him not to be so headstrong, but then he wouldn't be Rengi a by otherwise. I dressed myself quickly and knelt beside him. When I touched his face, my eyes popped. When I touched his face, his eyes popped open. And before I could even think to counter, he grabbed my waist and pinned my arm behind my back. I held my tongue and my teeth to hold the pain completely inside until he was fully aware. Once he was fully aware, he was voicing far too fast, almost stuttering apologies. I expressed to him that it was unneeded, and that since we were both expelled from the well, we needed to retreat to the stairs and back to the spiel. Rengi didn't shed what was clearly apprehension once we reached the old well's vacate. I would ask him about his experience. However, here and now wasn't the time nor place to have that conversation. We'd not passed out of the clearing when I felt it. Well, Rengi must have too. His expression only grew more pensive. Right where the clearing gave way to wild forest again, Theo stood like a rock-solid statue, dressed exactly as he had been when he initially apprehended handed to me, with his arms folded over his chest. This did not bode well, but I was not going to allow him nor any decision of the Comhele to tell me. This was as much for them as it was for me. I have to talk to you. Renji and I both called out to him in listen, and that is the chapter. Now, alright. Okay, so Sayani and Renji, they went to the well. Sayani pretty much learned just exactly how to, how to get the hollow out of Hall, and but basically Renji she had to, but Renji was the key. Renji was the catalyst to draw the hollow out, and we will find out just how that happens in the next chapter that I will read next week. So next week, the shit is gonna hit the fan, and it's gonna hit the fan hard. So the chapter, like all of the rest, fairly well paced. Her choice of words was very well, the way that she types, the way she worded all of the chapters up at that is up to this point, plus also beyond, are just, they paint a picture, a very detailed picture. And for those who are reading with me, and if you can't actually see that, then I just really wish I could actually have visual representation. But the way that she writes, you really don't need visual representation, but it does help. Talking about the well, telling Renji all of this lore behind it. I just love it that she really truly did research her brains out just to get everything right. the amount of research she did for this entire fanfiction is staggering. It's really staggering how much research she did, how much translations she did just to get some of the phrases that are from Bleach and translate them into Irish. And again, I'm really sorry that I cannot pronounce a single Irish word correctly. I'm really sorry about that. I that's not gonna change. I can't. I'm really sorry about that. I just really can't. But anyway, the actual rating that I'm gonna give this fanfiction chapter is gonna be and this is getting a great plus to an awesome, because it's setting up for the shit hitting the fan. And like I said, it's gonna hit the fan hard. But that's all that I have to say for this actual video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with your friends. This is your captain, Icetian 123, signing out. Peace.